What's on the news?
Naanza na Taifa Leo.
Anza kwenye Taifa Leo.
Muturi apapasa Mamba. That headline already? Muturi apapasa nani?
Mamba.
Haya. Waziri Muturi alianza kwa kuifokea serikali kuhusu utekaji nyara wa mtoto wake. Akakosekana katika mkutano ambao takribani kila waziri alihudhuria, ukiongozwa na Rais Ruto alipozuru Kakamega Januari. Kisha ikabainika kuwa amekuwa akiepuka vikao vya baraza la mawaziri tangu hapo. Hatimaye chama anachohusishwa nacho cha DP kimeanza mchakato wa kujiondoa kwenye muungano tawala wa Kenya Kwanza. Je, Muturi anataka kufutwa kazi?
Anaona nifute.
Ukurasa wapi?
Nifute. In Kikuyu they say Godha.
Hey, yeah.
Godha.
Do it.
Doraga.
What does that mean?
Niguze.
Niguze.
Nichape.
Yo.
Chape.
I'm quite surprised that he still has a job. But waziri wa utumishi wa umma Justin Muturi ameendelea kuikosoa serikali na kukwepa kuhudhuria mikutano ya baraza la mawaziri, huku akishikilia kuwa hata jiuzulu ndani ya utawala wa Kenya Kwanza. Nacho chama chake Democratic Party kimetoa ilani ya kujiondoa katika muungano tawala wa Kenya Kwanza, hali inayotilia shaka imani yake kwa serikali. Hata hivyo, wandani wa Rais William Ruto wakiongozwa na kiongozi wa wengi Kimani Ichung'wah wanashikilia kuwa siku zake katika baraza la mawaziri ni za kuhesabika, kwani atapigwa kalamu hivi karibuni.
Wanangojea nini? It's like he's asking mnangojea nini?
That's a good question.
Mnangojea.
Kwenye mahojiano katika runinga ya Citizen Jumatano usiku, Bwana Muturi alifichua kuwa hata hudhuria vikao vya baraza la mawaziri hadi pale ajenda ya utekaji nyara na mauaji ya kiholela yanayotekelezwa na maafisa wa usalama itakaporatibiwa na kujadiliwa.
Okay, so yeye Muturi mwenyewe anangojea nini? Si resign?
Amesema, why should I resign? Have I done anything wrong? What is my crime?
No, you haven't done anything wrong, but you disagree
with
just
your
come
number
out
one
and say, you know what? I am supposed, as member of the cabinet, I'm supposed to be serving this and also advising the president at the highest level. My advice is appearing to fall on deaf ears. And so therefore, I will not be part of this, what do they call it? Parliament of monkeys?
Parliament.
I'll not be part of this grouping.
Right.
Yeah?
That's a great question.
And that's why I resign. People resign, it's on principle.
On principle.
We seem
not
to
in
disagree
Kenya,
with... That's happened because he's trying to show us that he's a man of principle.
No,
I will not attend a cabinet meeting until the issue of abductions is placed on the agenda of the cabinet.
Is he a man of principle or a father? Because if he was a man of principle, the minute one abduction happened, he would have been fighting back at the government. But it was when his son was abducted, and not immediately after, much later, that he came out and said, hey, my son was abducted, and now this is personal to me. So is he a man of principle or a concerned father?
Are those two mutually exclusive?
You can be both, but in this case, I think it's him being a father that is pushing this agenda.
He's not being a father. This is a man who is politicizing the issue of his son. He should just quit the cabinet. Okay? If the president will not fire him, let him just quit. In fact, it's better. I think it would be better for him. It speaks highly more of him as a principled person if he were the one who resigned. And he came out and resigned and said, you know what? This happened last year. I stayed on in the cabinet hoping that we'll be able to address such issues. I am seeing that we're not making progress. And so therefore, hence, I do hereby tender my resignation from the cabinet.
Itakuwa ngumu. In this country where people said, I'll resign when I die.
Yes, I resign. Anasema nifuteni. It doesn't speak of principle to me. It just means that, he's trying to milk this thing for as much as he can. He's appearing in this, giving these interviews, press conferences. He's milking this as much as he can, trying to poke the bear. Apapasa Mamba. Yeah. He's just there, Kwanza sitting just next to the tail of the crocodile. And that's where...
Flick the tail.
The crocodile just does this with this. He's saying, wait, crocodile.
Do something. Do something.
Kwani you are sick. Kwani, what's happening?
Okay, what's his end game? What do you think is the end game?
For him?
Yeah.
He's fallen out of favor and he knows it. So he's looking for a way out. And he's politicizing it so that he becomes the victim. He becomes the person who was fired for speaking out.
On abductions.
On abductions. Instead of being the person who resigned for speaking out on abductions. He resigned by speaking out. Or he spoke out against abductions by resigning. I think that would be a better, for me, that would be a better, legacy.
It would.
Even 5 years down the road, he says, you know what, when it got to a point when we could not agree, I quit.
Out of principle. On principle.
On principle.
Okay.
Martha Karua runs with that even to date.
True.
She says, when it got to a point when I felt that my advice was not being taken by the president and my colleagues in cabinet were not agreeing with me, I resigned.
Literally last Saturday, she said that.
Yes. She rides on it even today.
That's
and you can't
20 years at
you
least.
cannot argue against that.
Right.
Yeah.